Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'll give everybody about 30 seconds to come online before I start answering some of the questions. I'm going to be taking questions directly from everybody who's watching live in the live chat here. And I'm going to do about 15 to 20 questions depending on the time. I've gotten a lot of people asking me about what they should do for travel here in Japan, and one person on Instagram said that why don't I um, make the videos that I show on Patreon for everybody, and the reason why is because those videos, those question and answers, are for Patreon. They're for people that are supporting the channel on Patreon. That's why I make those for Patreon. So I'm doing this one for everybody because I think that people have really good questions that benefit even the people on Patreon that are supporting me. So this is a really good chance for everybody to ask anything. Um, so I'm going to go over these questions that you have right now. It is October, and that means it's Halloween time, and I'm gonna have one of these snacks for you. This is the Kinoko no Yama and the Takenoko no Hoshi. These are snacks from Japan. You can see they got a Halloween design. I like the takenoko. Actually, I like the kinoko, but the takenoko is pretty good. Takenoko is our bamboo shoots. And if it's October in Japan, it means Halloween is all over the place, and that's the marketing here. And the first question that everybody asks me all the time, besides what hotel to stay in and where to go, is when is the best time of year to visit Japan? And that's such an easy one to answer. Process of elimination: when not to visit Japan. Don't visit Japan during New Year's because not only is everything closed, um, a lot of the transportation is quite busy because everyone is traveling everywhere. So New Year's is kind of a tough time. And New Year's is pretty much after Christmas till about January 5th or 6th. The second period is called Golden Week, which is from April 28th till May 5th. Forget about it. It's really crowded. And then the third period is Obon, the holiday in August. Obon is not as bad as it used to be because they have something called Silver Week, which is a second like summer holiday period where people wait until after the summer vacation to go on traveling on Silver Week. And the reason why Silver Week is in September is because it's cheaper to travel then. The prices for airlines go down, hotel prices go down, and it's a lot more relaxed. So you might want to avoid Silver Week. So those are the four periods, and that's in September. Those are the four periods to avoid. When is the best time? Right now. Right now is the best time. That summer humidity has gone away, and it's nice and cool here in Tokyo. The only thing that might be bad about visiting Japan right now is that occasionally we have typhoon, we say typhoon coming into Japan, and that makes it when that comes, it makes it quite challenging to get around for like one day, and then it's over. Usually we don't have the typhoons. Usually are not too strong. They're all like tropical depressions by the time that they hit land. A few strong ones have come here, but that's not the norm. Usually it's very cloudy and windy for half a day, and then the next day is completely sunny. In fact, for the next 3 days, it's so beautiful because it just cleaned the entire air. So there's good things about typhoons, and then there's bad things, of course. But the end of September and almost all of October, I love it. The weather's perfect. And the other time of year, people will say cherry blossoms, and if you really want to see that, then cherry blossoms is good, but it's still kind of chilly. If you wait until after Golden Week, which is May 5th, about May 5th, May 6th to the rainy season, May is beautiful after Golden Week. And you won't regret coming at that time. The flowers are out, it's warmer, the humidity isn't really oppressing yet. It's not like a sauna. So those two times, right now, and April, end of April, not Golden Week, or the beginning of May from May 5th on. That's one of the biggest questions. If you guys have a question right now, you can come and go ahead and ask me. I will ignore the ones that are not relevant to this. Do I ever collaborate with other YouTubers? Not really. I don't think it's to anyone's benefit to do that. I think YouTubers have to create, and if there's something that we have a good synergy on, a topic, then I would do that. I don't see collaborations being for what I do being good. But for the Only Japan Go channel, which is what this is, collaborations are actually are good for that. It's a vlog. This is a vlog. The main channel stuff, collaborating does not really help. It actually is worse. I'd rather have somebody who's a master or somebody who knows what they're talking about more than me to add to the experience for you. So I don't collaborate with a lot of YouTubers, although a lot of YouTubers will ask me, what is your favorite TV show to watch in Japan? Um, I don't really watch a lot of TV. It's a hard one to say. Probably the news, if you want to be honest, because you got to know what's going on around the country. Um, I'm looking for some ones that are actually relevant here. I've been living in Japan now for 3 weeks for the Rotary Youth Exchange. Kevin took me on that to the okonomiyaki place in the video. What are you coming to Osaka for a meetup? I really don't know. I might come to Kansai area in the next couple of months. I don't know if I'll see Kevin, but um, yeah, right now I think Osaka and Kansai is hurting. They really need more tourists to go to that area of Japan. So I really encourage you to go down there just for me from right here to support them because people are avoiding that place. They're recovering and they're actually recovered pretty quickly, and I think that the tourist industry should be booming again. But maybe this is like a period where you can go out and actually see it without so many crowds. Maybe Kyoto is not as crowded because of that. I doubt it, but it might be a reason to go to Kansai. Kevin's awesome, and that okonomiyaki place we visited, go there if you can find it. It's really, really amazing. Some of the best okonomiyaki. I've been here for 20 years. It was good. It's because it's authentic. They don't try. This is the thing, okay? The thing with family-run businesses, there's tourist streets, there's tourist streets, there's places where like they'll skimp on the quantity that you get. You can tell pretty much. Um, if you go in there, you want to go away from that. You'll find businesses run by families for generations. They don't skimp on the quality. They care about their reputation. You're gonna have awesome eating experience. There's a lot of like tourist streets in Utsunomiya. There's one for gyoza here. In Chuoku here, there's an island called Tsukishima where they have monjayaki, and there's the main street is loaded with tourist places where they skimp on the quantity that you'll be receiving because you don't know any better. So they don't do that at the place Kevin and I went. They're very much into the reputation of producing really good stuff. I like that. Thank you for asking that question. Um, Yakon Shomai, wow. Let me get back to you on that one. How do you earn a living in Japan? Right now, YouTube. I don't just make content for YouTube, by the way. I have clients that ask me to do other projects, but I've been turning those down to finish up projects that I need to do for YouTube. Um, so to make a living, I've made videos for lots and lots of clients. One client that I had was DHC. DHC makes cosmetics here in Japan, and I produced a series of 39 videos for BS Fuji Television. And yeah, that was a really hard job, but it was also really well paid. And it was the first TV production job that I had as a producer for a TV show. That taught me a lot on what goes behind the scenes, and that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago this year, which is crazy to think about. But like I have a company here in Japan, and we produce um, content for other people. So that's my background. Before I did YouTube, I was doing iTunes. Before iTunes, I was making video for other people. And that's my background. I've been doing NHK for over 10 years now, too. So I've been reporting for the TV. So that's also another job. You have a lot of jobs. Um, a lot of jobs. Thanks, guys, for the super chats here. I'm going to go back and try to answer all of these, too. Which onsen is the best in Japan in your view? In your view? That's from Rupesh. That's a great question. I don't know. That's such a hard one. There's a lot of them that I don't know yet. There's just too many of them. The ones that I showed you in the video in January, I encourage you to go back and look at the main channel. And those are really awesome. Hanakanzashi is an amazing onsen, I thought. Hanakanzashi. I'd go back and look at that, and when you see the video, you're gonna know what I'm talking about real fast. I see Mix is here. Hey Mix, if you were hungry, what's the restaurant you look for a good affordable meal? Ideally, one nationwide. Um, Coco's Coco Ichiban curry rice, curry rice. Curry rice is, I believe, the national dish of Japan. Literally, like the navy of Japan eats curry rice. It's considered to be a Western food, not an Indian food, because it was introduced to Japan from the British Navy. The British Navy had it on board, and after Commodore Perry came in with the Black Ship and opened up Japan, and we had the Meiji Restoration, that's when a lot of Western foods started to come to Japan, and it was those boats that could come into Tokyo Bay for the first time were bringing in foods like curry rice. Coco Ichiban curry is just it's the quality is always good. The toppings are really good, and the price is pretty good. It's a little bit pricey, but I've always had a good experience there. And you can also change the spiciness of it, and I like that. I like to go a little bit spicier. My mom loves it. Um, Another restaurant is Denny's because it's just weird. In Japan, we have a totally different kind of Denny's that we do in the United States. So that's a pretty neat experience to go into. And I've always had pretty good food at Denny's. Denny's is now backed by 7-Eleven Japan, which is a very powerful company here. Um, so thanks for that. I also like ramen places. You can't go wrong with that. But look for places with lines. Look for places that locals go to. Don't go to the ones if there's no line because sometimes you can get sick from ramen. I've gotten food poisoning from soup that was sitting there too long. You just don't know. Most of the time you're gonna be okay, but a lot of my friends aren't used to it and they get the runs. They go into a ramen place that is not visited often. Dogmeat301, thank you. Been watching your videos for the past year now. Love all the information. Me and my husband will be moving to Yokosuka. Hey, in February 2019. Those are our neighbors in Yokohama. Not too far away. Hope to run into you one day. Keep up the awesome videos. Great. Yeah, Yokosuka also has some awesome curry places. Just because the U.S. Navy is down there, but the Japanese also have a lot of boats down in that area, and curry rice is so famous in Yokohama and in that area too. And yeah, Japanese curry rice. I don't know if you guys have had it. It doesn't sound like a dish that would be only in Japan, but it's so good. Do not miss a bowl of like Coco Ichiban curry or any curry place. There's a bunch of them. CC Curry is another curry chain. They're all really good. Um, you can get them vegetarian as well. Just make sure that the roux is vegetable based and it's not pork based or chicken based. Yeah, you have to ask that because usually the roux, which is the curry base of it, is usually pork based in Japan. If you ask for it, Coco Curry also has halal. For anyone from the Middle East, they also have halal menus, so the curry is okay to eat. The last time I went in there, they did anyways. I don't know if they do now, but this was recently. Hi John, I'm coming to Japan in 3 weeks. How's the weather in October? This is from Abigail. It's great. This is the perfect. You're coming at the perfect time. This is my favorite time of the year. Are sentos an alternative to all onsen? Whoa, that's a good question. That's a good question. Are sentos an alternative to onsen? In a way, yes, because you're introduced to the bath culture in Japan. The bath culture in Japan runs more than just onsen, but onsen to me is an experience. Okay, that's an onsen town is the ryokan, the traditional Japanese inn, and the bath, and the two of them kind of go together. And the sento is a place where Japanese will go just to have a bath, kind of like from maybe 60 years ago or like hundreds of years ago the history started. It was the place where the community it was a community thing. Everyone had to bathe to stay clean because it prevented disease. So the bathhouses were they could heat the water economically and everybody would pay just a little bit to have a really relaxing experience. That sento culture still exists, but it's dying because now everybody can get hot water everywhere. After World War II, everyone has a bathtub. So that the old people, you know, die, the younger people are now used to taking baths in their things. So I always encourage people to go to the sento and support the sentos and go just to keep them in business. But it is kind of like it's kind of like an introduction to Japanese bathing culture, and you can be really shy about it. I didn't go to the onsen for the first year that I was in Japan. I was too shy. I, I was like, here's what I thought. Yeah, I get off the plane like, yeah, I'm not going to a place with a bunch of naked dudes. I'm not gonna do that. Why would they do that? You know, it's like what? I think which is weird, right? And then I had to do it because I stayed at a hotel where the only bath was a Japanese sento. So I went there. I'm like, whoa, this is too good. How did I miss this for I wasted an entire year not going. Once you get over your shyness of it, it's an amazing experience. And anybody in here um, who has felt the same way, and I bet you there's a lot of people know what I'm talking about. I want to make sure I get everybody's questions. I'm going here. Timothy, thank you very much for the super chat. This is from Timothy Van Hecky. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. There's a Mossburger Cafe in Ginza we're checking out. Mossburger is also a really unique Japanese fast food chain. They make burgers that are cheaper than the boutique burgers, but they're more expensive than hamburgers. The gourmet burger more expensive than McDonald's. Halal food video is coming soon. I'm working on that. So I think in the next couple of weeks I'm gonna go to a ramen place and eat some halal ramen. Just I want to try some new things for different people. And I think I don't know a lot about halal food, and I wish there was somebody here in Tokyo that could go with me and explain it to me, because I think 45 or 50% of the viewers watching this are from the United States, and of those, very little know what halal food actually is. I don't actually know a lot about it, but I'm learning a lot from you, from people watching the show recommending it to me. So I really don't know much about it, but I'm going to explore it because I've been asked a lot about it, and maybe it's something we can all learn from. But halal is a food where I believe the animal is killed in a way scripted by the Quran, and it's blessed, and that's about all I know, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna go and figure it out, and we'll go on a live stream and do that, you know. So I appreciate you guys asking about that. There's lots of different foods, you know, kosher foods is something that people have asked me about, and Dasai, which is the Japanese sake company, it was certified kosher, which I was like, I remember talking to the president. He goes, "We this year we got certified as a kosher food." I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah. Now that means we can be served in more places." So people thought that it's very important for food to be certified in a certain way to meet more markets, and Japan is trying to find more markets. So I think it's kind of cool. So thanks for asking about that, guys. Um, let's see here. Selena, hey, thank you so much, Selena, for the super chat. I appreciate it. If you have a question, do not hesitate. This is what I usually do for Patreon. All the supporters on Patreon, I'll do this twice a month and answer their questions. We're getting a lot of questions coming in, though. Let's see here. The Hard Rock. Is there a Hard Rock Cafe in Japan? There's many Hard Rock Cafes. James GL. Hard Rock Cafe was the restaurant I went, my go-to restaurant, because when I was homesick and I wanted a burger or nachos, there's one in Nagoya. I first lived in Nagoya when I moved here, and there was McDonald's, and then there was Hard Rock Cafe, and those two places where I would go for to feel like I was an American again, sort of. Now the options are like unlimited because the Olympics are coming. So, but there's I think 3 Hard Rock cafes in Tokyo. There's one in Osaka, one in Nagoya, and I'm sure there's one in Fukuoka. And gosh, there's just so many of them. So many of them. I do look tired because I've been editing. The next video is going to be coming this week. It's a street food episode in Tokyo. It's going to be pretty fun to do. And then I have the Ogasawara videos from the island. Let's see here. Hey, Katori Shingo's in the house. How you doing, Elizabeth? Hey, Ramstalent's I always appreciate you asking for likes. Thanks, guys, for all the likes. Liking the video is how I know that you guys like the content. If I get a lot of likes on a Q&A, I probably will do more of them. This is from S. Americia. Thank you. Halal is a Muslim food that the meat, mainly whether goat or cow, that is slaughtered on a specific way. Blessed where I live that we have halal butchers, and it's tastier than that of the supermarket. You know, food is tastier. I don't care where it comes from, but I really don't know. So I will report on this week. How's the video editing going? It's going good. Um, I better not show you yet. I'll have a little bit more done tomorrow, and I think I eat 5 street food items in a market in Tokyo, so it's gonna be pretty cool. And that's coming this week, and then I move on to the island videos that I took, which is just stunning. The drone footage is awesome from this. Vegetarian sushi. That's interesting. That might be something that I'd look into. I want to see something on vegan and vegetarian food because uh, I've introduced a lot of meat, but I can also introduce a lot of vegetarian food. So when the vegetarians attack me or the meat eaters attack me, which they never do, I want to say, look, a reporter can see all sides. I'm somebody who wants to see all sides of Japan, all sides, uh, because my audience here is so global. It's important for me to understand every single side of an issue to try to report that to you, and that's my job. So I will do my best shot. Here's dog meat. Dog meat 301. Off topic, but is CBD illegal in Japan? I don't even know what that is. Central Business District? CBD usually means Central Business District. I think I've looked on the net, but can't get a straight answer. Not sure if anything about smoke or vape shops. Oh, okay. So that might be. Vaping is legal here. A lot of people are vaping. I don't know what they're vaping, but they also have these little boxes, and they put the cigarette in the box, and they're smoking like this. I don't know. I saw this. A CBD is weed. I didn't know that. I don't. It's not legal. You'll get in big trouble if you bring it here. I don't. I really don't know anything about that. Mushrooms, though, used to be legal when I came here. You used to get them through mail order. People would report on that, and they became illegal. That's the only drug, because we have so many different kinds of mushrooms in Japan. We got enoki, shiitake, just like normal mushrooms. There's so many different kind of mushrooms. It was something that they couldn't ban until eventually, I guess the government figured it out. I don't know, but people were telling me when I first came here, like, yeah, people are doing mushrooms. What? So, yeah, isn't that illegal? I said, no, not really. But yeah, drugs are illegal in Japan. Don't try to buy them. Don't try to smoke them here. You're just gonna get in trouble. The police have like a almost 100% conviction rate. You don't want to mess around with the Japanese police. They know what they're doing. So, and I know what I'm doing because I don't do anything illegal except maybe just I drink alcohol, which is kind of a drug, but I don't drink a lot actually. Why Japanese bed top mattresses only if compared to American beds? This is about futon. Japanese futon, they sleep on the floor, okay? And then the reason why they have the futon is because um, you can fold up a futon and you can put it away. And people put the futon into the closet. They put the bed in the closet, and you have the whole room is open to do whatever you want with it. This is why futons are really good. We sleep in a futon. And the reason why is because I can fold up the bed, I can put it away, and I have a whole room to do whatever I want with. I can put a table in there. I can do yoga. So this is one of the things. It's a space saver. Also, it's cooler on the ground. All right, hot air rises. So if you stay closer to the ground, you stay cooler. There's lots of different reasons why people sleep on the ground. The reason why we don't wear our shoes is because the ground is sacred. You know where you sit. So the houses are very clean. So it doesn't make a difference to sleep on the floor. It's actually like the same as a sofa. So there's lots of cultural reasons why we use futon. I love futon. When I get beds that are too soft, I get sore the next day because I'm used to a hard futon. Um, Gosh, let's see here. Some more questions. How's Tokyo, John? Tokyo is good. That's such a big question. I don't know how to answer that. CBD is just hemp. I don't even know. Thanks for the clarification. I really don't know anything about it. I know hemp. Maybe they make bags out of it. I think it's like just a material. I don't know if you could smoke it, but I've seen bags made out of hemp. I don't. I really don't know much about the topic though. I'm not the right person to ask. What do you do if you have back trouble and you're getting up and down? Wonder how older people use futons. Older people, they just stay on the floor. When I went to see the 106-year-old woman, This is an episode on Japanese getting older. I learned that she gets around sometimes by just crawling, and it's humble. She crawls out of bed, and then she gets up really really slowly, or people help her up, but she doesn't have a bed. You know, bed you can fall out of bed, but Mr. Seiichi he has a bed now, but he used to sleep in a futon. People, they crawl up and get help. When Japanese get older, the family really helps a lot, and I think that's kind of the critical part of how families work here in Japan. How to get tickets to AKB48? Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Luck, internet. There's usually I think there's one site that the tickets go through because they monetize everything. The reason why I don't like AKB48, it's all about making money. It's all about, and I'm learning about it too, because if you don't make money, then you can't support yourself or you can't grow. So I can see that. But AKB48, man, they find a way to monetize and make everything. You want to meet AKB48, you got to pay them, to shake their hand and stuff like that. So, I can understand. I'm not sure though how to get tickets. I have never really been, but I know you can go to the AKB48 cafe, which is in Akihabara, which is which is pretty neat. I haven't been by there, but it seems like a pretty cool spot if you want to feel closer to the band. You should do a show on how to become a citizen of Japan and get a job there. I'm not sure if I want to do that. I don't. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in becoming a citizen of Japan. I'm quite happy to be an American. Um, how to get a job here? You got to get it. You have to, have a skill that the Japanese don't have. Which, why would they hire you if you're doing a job that somebody here could do? It's the same with the United States or any other country in Europe. You have to have a skill like nursing right now is big, something in the medical field, something having to do with older people or teaching English. These are things that Japanese can't do, and that's why it's a valuable um, asset to have if you want to work here. Once you get a visa to work here, it's quite easy to extend the visa. It's not a visa renewal, it's a visa extension, and you can keep renewing it until they say no. But I've never had a problem renewing it. Um, do you have a work permit that must be renewed? Not anymore. Not anymore. Have you thought about doing an episode on Japanese pro wrestling? I have, and I've been approached once to do that. So you might see an episode on this. You might see an episode. Wade, thanks for asking about the DVD. I reconstituted when I came back from the islands. I had to put together one day, April 1st. So I got back 85% of the video footage on a damaged hard drive, and we're good to go. I will give an update as soon as I can get into looking at the footage and putting it back into the video. I want to have something positive to say to everybody ASAP. So thanks for asking about that. I have a friend who's teaching Japanese English. Keep the fingers crossed for her to be able to move to Japan sometime. Yeah, I came here working as an English teacher, so I really loved it. I taught children, and they learn really fast. That's why I like teaching children instead of adults. Children they learn really fast, and the younger they are, the faster they learn. And it keeps you energized too, because kids have this kind of smile and energy to them, and they love everybody. Kids are curious about everybody, and it's infectious. Their friendliness. So I love to teach them. I learned a lot from them actually. Will you be in Tokyo during New Year period? I might be. I'm planning to go to New York for Christmas, so I'm going to be doing a meetup in New York, a meetup in Europe. These are plans right now, and a meetup in India. I want questions about Japan, traveling in Japan, guys. Not about me or um, not about like working in Japan. How about traveling here? Can foreigners work at a host bar? Um, yeah, I think so. I've seen a lot of girls that are from the Philippines working there and girls from Russia working there. I don't know why they're working there, but they were. I'm visiting Sakuragaoka. Have you visited? I think so. I think so. I'm trying to think where that is. Like I've been to every prefecture twice at least. What would you wear during the cherry blossom season? I would come with no shorts. I'd come with pants, shoes, uh, maybe a sweater or a light jacket. But be prepared if it's cooler. You can wear layers. Sometimes it's very cold. You look like you need some rest. I always need some rest. It's also past midnight here. How difficult is it to find chicken-based food in Japan? Not hard at all. You can find chicken-based food just every karage, Japanese chicken. I love it. It's my favorite food. It's my favorite. It's hard to say favorite. It's one of my top five. My favorite dish is probably katsudon, which is breaded pork cutlet with egg on top of rice. It's so good. Um, and curry rice is always good. All right, guys, I got 5 more minutes on this because the battery is going to die. I mean, what's the weather like in November? It's cooler, but November, it doesn't start to get really cold till December. November is cool. Beginning of November is really good. The autumn colors are changing. You don't need a winter jacket, but it gets to about 5 degrees, 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. 10 degrees is the norm, which is like 50 degrees. It's nice. All right, two more questions. Is Japanese curry spicy? No. It's usually very middle of the road. The most popular curry came out in the 1960s called Vermont curry. Vermont curry had a base of apple and honey. It was sweet, and it got rid of that image that Japanese curry was spicy, and Japanese people loved that Vermont curry, that really even balance of taste with just a little bit of spiciness. But these days you can control the spiciness more, so you have a lot more variety. But, it used to be seen as an exotic food. Now, Japanese curry is Japanese. It's really Japanese. So, is it difficult finding a Catholic Japanese to marry? I don't know. Like, that's out there. Yeah, you have to. Good luck. What is Toyooka like? I have a place booked there for. I believe it's good. I think I've been there. Toyooka. I'm looking at the kanji. Toyo is Toyohashi Toyo, and Oka is Okayama Oka, which means hill. I'm planning to visit Tokyo in November for 15 days. Is it enough? For Tokyo? Yeah. I say get the heck out of Tokyo and do something. Vermont maple syrup. Okay, hold on. That has nothing to do with Japan. It's hard to. What kind of Japanese music you like? I don't. I don't listen to a lot of music. I listen to royalty-free music. That's what I do. All right. All right, hold on a second. I gotta get a battery charger. I thought this was gonna be like 5 minutes. This turned into like 50. Hold on a second. All right. Like, see, these live streams always go really long. I don't want to. I want to make sure everybody gets answered, and I don't want to rush. Okay, hold on a second. This might hurt, so just bear with me. I'm taking you out of the clamp, turning up the phone. Are you there? All right, looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. Keep it there. There you go. All right. Sorry. All right. All right. Good. So what would your favorite Japanese? Who's your favorite Japanese? I don't know. The big lady who bear hugs. If you get sick on a holiday in Japan, how common are clinics? Nathaniel, great question. Um, Clinics are everywhere because oh, is the video lagging? Hold on a second. All right, I turned on the Wi-Fi. Maybe that'll help. Clinics are everywhere, Nathaniel. I think it's not really a problem. If you do have health insurance or you have a card, insurance card, I think you should bring it with you because sometimes you'll be able to get a reduced rate, and it's usually very, very inexpensive to see a doctor in Japan. Anyway, the clinics usually they don't speak much English, but the doctors usually do because they're educated. They speak English to learn about the medicines in other countries. The younger the doctor, probably the more English they speak. But um, most of the time, I have to speak in Tokyo. There's lots of clinics, especially in the center of the city. Outside of Tokyo, yeah, usually there's two or three clinics in front of train stations. The bigger train stations and areas usually have clinics. So you know what? It's really not that hard to find a place to get some medical help if you need it. If you need to go to a hospital, that's a different situation. Because there's so many old people, the hospitals are often get full and the ambulances are quite busy. I'm just being honest because Japan's got tons of older people here. Hey Ben, some thanks for all your work. Um, Go to Mick Keller bars and buy a beer. Okay. Also, someone was asking about Airbnb. Do you know the site? Do you know the situation with that at the moment? That's a great question, Ben. So Airbnb in June, Japan passed a law requiring that hotels, including Airbnbs, had to register. And if you were not registered to pay, and you have to pay taxes, and if you're not registered in this, then you can't have an Airbnb. Meaning they're kind of enforcing the same law for hotels as they're doing for Airbnb owners, and they can't afford it. They can't afford like to put signs saying exit and things like this in your house. They can't afford to put all the things that are necessary to run a hotel in their house. So there's been a lot of problems, and I think last week was the first time that the law was actually enforced. There was a Airbnb. They wouldn't say which. Maybe it was through Booking.com, but that guest house was indicted, meaning they're going to have to go to court, and they got in trouble, and they're getting shut down, and I think there were 7 employees in the company, so that was really hard. That's the first time it's been enforced, this law that came out in June. 80% of the Airbnbs were in big trouble when the law came out, and most of them like shut. And there's also like a law, I think you cannot have it running all year long. So that means that they're probably going to run Airbnbs more at the popular times, which means there's going to be less Airbnbs for people that are looking for it. Right now the situation is not good, but I think if you give it some time, it'll work its way out. Japan right now, especially Tokyo and Kyoto, there's a hotel crunch. There's not enough hotels in the cities right now to accommodate all of the tourists. So Tokyo's gonna have to do something. I think it was 2 years ago, the city of Tokyo started to promote love hotels as an option for foreign tourists to stay there. And love hotels, you can go in at after 10 p.m. and you can leave at 8 or 9 a.m. and it's one flat rate, and it's kind of neat because you usually get karaoke inside of the rooms, or you get like a Sony PlayStation and stuff inside of the rooms. And I used to do that with my girlfriends in the past. If I traveled, we would sometimes stay there, not for the purpose of what it was designed for, but just because it was the most convenient and the cheapest place to stay. So love hotels, if you can get past that they're love hotels, are actually pretty good alternatives. And I guess you can't go by yourself, but if you're with 2 people, even if it's 2 guys or 2 girls, people don't ask too many questions. They know you just want a place to crash, usually. Especially if you come in with a big smile, you know. When should I go to Japan? Raphael, go back and look at the front of this. Right now is the best time. The end of September and October is an awesome time to be in Japan. That's when I recommend you guys to come. Avoid the lines and come at this time. I picture Love American Style with those hotels. Yeah, Carolyn, these aren't motels. Yeah, these are pretty. Some of them are kind of neat to go into. In fact, I think Love Hotels, you probably will have one of the most unique Japanese experience by going into one of them, and kind of seeing how this culture's been around for decades. This Love Hotel culture, where couples are being promiscuous, but at the same time, it's literally, if you're a married couple, this is one reason why Love Hotels might be uh, used not for dirty reasons, but if a married couple has children and the walls are thin and they want to take a break from their kids and they want to, do the do it, they would go to a love hotel because it's just polite to do it. You don't do it in front of your kids. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just being polite. That's all I'm going to say about that. But in general, love hotels are for that reason. It's for families. It's for a place where couples can relax, and there's lots of stuff you can do in there. It's big. It used to be the place where you can have big screen TVs in the room, and you can just watch a movie with your girlfriend or your wife, or your husband or your boyfriend. You could just watch a movie in the room on a big screen TV, and it was really affordable to stay in one of those. I mean, I love the stuff that was in there. Dog Meat 301. John, I have a 5-year-old girl, and I have a medium-sized tattoo on my back. Do you have any recommendations? I lost it here. Recommendations for bathhouses. I would love to take her to a nice bathhouse. Yeah. Um, so she's 5 years old, so she can go into the men's. She can actually join you in the men's bathroom, and I think usually if they're like under teenagers, they can go in with a family member, even though they're a different sex. Um, Nudity is not a big deal, even for the other side, believe it or not. So let me think here. I don't know if the little boys can go on the girls' side, but the girls can go on the boys' side. But without that, all of the sento, the Japanese public baths, are 100%, no, 99% okay with tattoos. Not a problem at all. I just did a video on Japanese sento in January, end of January. Definitely check it out on the main channel. I did a couple of live streams from Japanese sento, which are public bathhouses. Check it out. If you have a tattoo, you can go in there, no problems whatsoever. Onsen are more and more starting to accommodate foreign tattoos because they know they're not gangsters. But the problem, the reason why the law is so blanketed to everybody is because if they let in some people with tattoos, they have to let in everybody with tattoos, and that means the gangsters. So the reason why the tattoo law is actually there, why they don't, why there's a taboo with tattoos, is because it's normal people in Japan didn't have that decades ago. It was just people that were in the mafia. And the way to get them not to go to the baths, I'm doing this like as no entry, was to ban tattoos. You didn't say no gangsters. No, you would just say no tattoos. So if you said no tattoos, it's a polite way to say sorry, you get a tattoo, not, instead of saying sorry, you're a gangster. But now with foreign tourists coming that have tattoos, and I have friends that came and have tattoos, um, it's becoming more accessible. If your tattoo is medium size, you could probably go to any tattoo because they have body patches. All right, it depends. If your tattoo is like about this big, you can put a body patch. Have your daughter put a body patch on your tattoo in the back. You're good. You can go into any of the onsen or sento. No one will say anything because you're putting a body patch on it, and you're now acceptable. It's just about covering up the tattoo, and I think they're like a couple of dollars. It's totally worth it. If you have a really big body art, you can't do it. But if you have like one or two, you can slap on a body patch that will cover it up, and just take it off when you're done. They usually sell them on location, but if might want to buy a few if you find a place that has it, just in case. If you're traveling and they don't have one, you will have one, and it'll be okay. Um, I like the Kamiedo and took the train to this. Yeah, Kamiedo is a neat place. It's just a couple of stops from the Yamanote line. Purple Bandit 79. Hey, well, I picked a great time to join the live stream. Hey, welcome. Yeah, this is a midnight because it's actually 1 a.m. now. This is a midnight question and answer for traveling to Japan, and I want to answer as many questions as I possibly can. I hope that answers your question, Dog Meat, because I also another thing that I want to tell you is I made an episode on the main channel that was at Dogo Onsen. Dogo Onsen is I'd like all of you to go and see this episode. Dogo Onsen is the oldest Japanese bathhouse in Japan, and it's not in Tokyo. It's in a place called Matsuyama in Shikoku Island, and Matsuyama is like it's a great place to visit if you're a tourist. This bath allows tattoos. This bath has allowed tattoos. Doesn't care who you are, what you look like. everybody's welcome at that bath, and it's a proper onsen. It's a real onsen, and the bath. This is where the emperor has a bath. It's like it's special. If the emperor ever goes to Dogo Onsen, he has his own bath there. So you're bathing in the place the emperor used to bathe in. That's just like really cool. So I recommend that you go there. I love Dogo Onsen. This here's the video right here. I made this video over a year ago. This is a year and a half ago actually. It's called Dogo Onsen, Ancient Bathhouse Secrets Revealed, and I'm surprised that not a lot of people that this hasn't passed 1 million views, to be honest with you, because this is the one bathhouse. And actually, Matsuyama, the city, has asked to use this for their promotion. So I was pretty happy with that. It took a lot of time and effort to make this episode. Dogo Onsen is, I think everybody should learn about this one. Um, I published this one on October 19th, 2016. It's a good one. Yeah, and that's Matsuyama Castle too. Um, are they promoting it now? Jason, they've always promoted Dogo Onsen. The problem is that it's in Shikoku. And you can get a flight to Matsuyama for like 6,000 yen or $50. You can get a flight from Narita to Matsuyama on Jetstar. Or you can go to Takamatsu, which is the udon capital with the thick noodles, to Takamatsu, and then take a train to Matsuyama and go to Dogo Onsen and spend. Everyone wants to come here and ride the rails, ride the Shinkansen, okay? And it's pretty cool to do. It's convenient, but the cheapest and fastest way to do long distances in Japan is to fly. And there's budget airlines, Skymark and Jetstar and Vanilla, and I think there's Peach. There's a couple of newer budget airlines have popped up that are really dropping the prices. So you can get. It takes 7 hours to get to Fukuoka by Shinkansen, or you can fly there in 90 minutes. It's a no-brainer, right? If you go into the airport and going there, it's still like 3 hours faster, okay? So everybody is flying in Japan, and it's so much cheaper. Forget the rail pass. Just fly to Sapporo and take local trains around, fly back to Tokyo, then fly to Shikoku and take local trains around. You don't really need a JR pass. You can do everything with booking cheap flights. I loved, Jetstar is pretty tough with luggage, all right? They're pretty cheap. Like, they won't allow you to have more than 7 kilograms of baggage. They're pretty strict on that. I always load my pockets with the batteries and stuff because they don't weigh me personally. I always thought that was unfair. I think maybe like really petite, small people should be able to have like a couple more kilograms, and me being a little bit bigger, maybe I'm not as allowed as much as a really small petite woman. If you're going by weight, it's not really fair. You still have to weigh people. So Jetstar is like really close to being on the fringe of being somewhat insulting, like weighing very strictly 7 kilograms. So it's weird. I always thought that's tough. How do you justify someone who's bigger, and say someone who's smaller can't bring some more weight? Just hard. Link of Hyrule 565. Hey, thank you very much for the. That's a pretty cool number. That sticks out for sure. I'm from Mozambique. Whoa! Whoa, this is Nuno. Hey, Nuno. I'm from Mozambique, going there next year in March with my girlfriend. Hey, I'm gonna stay in Kyoto, Tokyo, and Takayama. Takayama's gonna be awesome. You're gonna love it. I would like to know, is it easy to get a private bath for some hours? I think it is. Nuno, first of all, Mozambique has the coolest flag in Africa. It has I think it's AK-47 or something. I don't know. It's just I did a safari through South Africa and Botswana and Zambia, Zimbabwe, and I was like, I want to go to Mozambique. It just seemed like a really cool country, beautiful beaches. Now that I got that out of the way, I think if you want to, you have to stay at a ryokan, Nuno. A ryokan is a traditional Japanese inn. Takayama has some really, really nice ryokan. Kyoto does too, but it's a little bit pricier and harder to make a reservation there. I recommend that if you're going to be going, try to get a reservation at a nice place at least 2 months in advance, at least, to make sure that you got it. And it's not going to be too cheap. You're not going to find affordable rooms with private baths. In the video that I made in January, I show you what they look like. And this is in Fukushima Prefecture. And trust me, Fukushima is just fine. It's the third largest prefecture in Japan. I think Hokkaido would be first, right? So I mean, like, it's safe. You just don't want to go in that red area, right? But you can see what they look like, and it's just beautiful when you have your own private bath. Which one is it? Here it is, down here. 8 months ago, I put this up. It's called Japanese Onsen Bath Experience Hot Spring Paradise. And I show all different kinds of baths, including a lot of private baths. Hold on a second. Here we go. Hanakanzashi was a place I'm gonna go back with my wife, and it's just one of the most stunning baths I've ever been in. Like, the rooms were just too awesome. Yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to check it out, this is the episode that's gonna answer all of your questions. For Takayama, book 2 months in advance. For Kyoto, book as far in advance as you can possibly do. The private bathrooms go quickly, but you can find it. Try booking.com. Booking.com has pictures. It's pretty easy. They usually do a pretty good job of holding the reservation. One site that you guys might not know about is jalan.net. jalan.net. And this is a Japanese-based site. Now, I'm going to turn it down a little bit so you can see it, but yeah, there you go. Jalan.net is all in Japanese. This is the site that Japanese people use. But if you go into languages, you can change it to English, Chinese, Korean, Thai, Malaysian, and Indonesian. So go into the English site, and you have access to all of the tools that the Japanese have, and they have more available. I think maybe you can see it better now. They have more available hotels than any other site, I believe. All right, and you'll find places that might be available that weren't available on Booking.com or the other ones, like TripAdvisor. I never book through them. I always book. I'll check out what people have to say on TripAdvisor, and then I always book through Jalan.net. JALAN.net. And yeah, just always try a couple of sites, and you'll come up with something that will work. Something that you'll find. But Japanese websites usually are more text-based, and foreign websites are more visual-based. So Japanese Jalan.net is not the best site, but it's the one that all the Japanese use. Well, most Japanese will use that. They don't use Booking.com. They use Jalan.net. JALAN.net. All right, one or two more questions. Caroline, yeah, I have Takayama booked because I'm going to, yeah, Takayama books fast. Caroline is on Patreon, by the way, and on Patreon, I always try to promote it because we're so close to having 500 supporters on Patreon. We have a community tab, and I always ask people, oh look, Matsumi found some clear Coca-Cola, and that's not in Japan. So we have people in the community that will post their own experiences of living in or visiting Japan, or post pictures. Caroline's one of the people who really contributes. Samantha as well, and James. Yeah, and you can see some neat sites and ask questions from other people that have shared the same experiences. So I really appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Tuotaku. Patreon rocks, and I like the way, because we have such a small community there that I can answer people's emails. So I kind of take that, make priority to people who are supporting on Patreon. I want to sponsor Kanai and John to take to the grand class with Onsen. That might be, you know what? That might be fun. No, that will be fun. How about that? Hey, Matsumi's here. You can go to Japanicon for ryokans also. Yeah, and that's run by JTB, which is a site. I also think, though, Matsumi, sometimes JTB might water down some of the ryokan accommodations and keep some of it for the domestic The reason why I use Jalan.net is because I always think JTB has tours not for foreigners and tours for Japanese, and they kind of separate it. That's the, and I think they keep the Japanicon one is kind of different. I don't know. I got kind of that feeling from them, but it's a very useful site, and it's a place where you can get a lot of different options. And Japanicon is good because it's very visual, right? I believe you can see more photos of the places you would stay at. Hey, Bela's here. Hey, Bela. Bela, are you still in Chicago? I haven't. Wow. I haven't. OHIO. Yeah, buddy. We're Buckeyes. Do you have an official email? No. All of my support's coming through Patreon right now because I simply cannot keep up with the messages on. I think Instagram. I have it just stopped at like 999 plus. There's no way I can answer everybody on social media. I don't have a manager doing all this stuff for me. I don't have any assistants. We're working on that. I have people that are helping me on the side right now, and we're gonna build from the support on Patreon and the support on the Only in Japan Go. We're doing pretty good with super chats here, which helps to fund a lot more than I pay for the bandwidth in like 2 days, right? But all of this helps to fund the traveling and the other stuff, and then there's the main channel. So we're doing good. Gosh, the biggest thing have been these the postcards that I send. I send postcards to people, and that's been the biggest thing that's been supporting. Greetings from Romania. Hey, I was just in Cluj-Napoca a couple years ago. Gosh, I love Romania too. Bonjour. Nathaniel, how's taxi fares in Japan in general? Nathaniel's got some awesome questions. All right. The deal with taxis. I love this question. I love this question because this comes up, and I'm surprised no one has asked it before. Taxis are very, very useful in Tokyo. All right, distances are kind of short, but you can walk it. But sometimes getting down underground and taking the subway for 3 stops makes no sense. Taxis in Tokyo now start at $4. So you can jump in one and then you can start traveling. And very often, I never pay more than $6 or $7. And if I go with 3 other people, it's the same price or sometimes even cheaper to take a taxi than it is for us to ride on the subway for 2 stops. Do you see what I'm saying? So taxis are something that you should definitely consider. Now, you have 480 yen. Now, that's still cheap. That's like $4.25 or something at the exchange rates. If you want an Uber, be prepared to pay more than the normal taxis. I'd say about 20 to 30% more. The only Ubers that I can find in the city of Tokyo are Uber Blacks. And 2 things on that. The first thing is that usually you have to wait about 8 to 10 minutes to get an Uber Black. So usually there's a waiting time. They will come to the exact location just like on the app, but it'll be the most beautiful, brand new, spectacular car that you'll ride in probably in your trip in Japan. The Uber Blacks are wonderful, but they always charge more. And my dad was very surprised when he got the bill, and it was a lot. He didn't know, but it was just too convenient. The thing with Uber is that the convenience is if you have a family, Uber is your best friend. All right, but just the normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill Japanese taxis are so convenient. They're everywhere in Tokyo, and they start at 480 yen, which is like $4 now. They used to start at $7. They moved it down to 4 for half the distance, and so if you're going a long distance, you'll still have to pay the same rate, but it's more useful now to take it for just like 2 stations. If you need to jump in a cab, you're probably going to not hesitate. Also, by the way, you don't have to open the doors for the Japanese taxis. The doors automatically open, and you don't have to touch the door; it'll automatically close. And they've been doing that for decades. I believe way back in the 80s, the taxi drivers had this tool that they could use to open and close the door. They do it manually. Now they just push a button. But the old taxis are pretty cool. I've seen a couple of the old school taxis, and they're kind of fun to ride in when you go out into the countryside. Um, Taxis here in Japan now started to have these English cab-looking taxis. I think I introduced it in the main channel Tokyo 2020 What Do We Know Now episode. The Japanese taxis look like miniature, like smaller versions of the London taxis, which is great because you can fit more people in it. I think you can fit in one more person, and you can fit in a lot more luggage. And that was the biggest problem with the taxis that they had. They couldn't accommodate Westerners, and that's not fair to say. They couldn't accommodate like Chinese and Westerner luggage sizes to go to the airport. People just had these massive suitcases, and Japanese don't carry those supersized suitcases. They carry usually just a smaller one. I don't know why people just don't take a lot of stuff, or they take two of them. But they had to get the bigger taxi cabs to fit more luggage. I thought that was pretty funny. That was one of the reasons why they moved to this English taxi cab system. Hey Jam, can you get an Indian? Can an Indian get an English teaching job in Japan? This is from Sanaf. Absolutely. If you guys know my friend, I did 2 episodes, Japan only in Japan and India, and I had a friend of mine from India. He's an English teacher here. He got hired in India to work at an English school chain here. So more and more people from India are getting easier access to work in Japan. I think that's great. I don't like the stereotype that different accents, like the Indian accent, is too strong to be useful to teach English in Japan. That's total garbage because nowadays the world is so globalized that they need to hear the Indian accent, okay? All right? And India's got like, what, 1.3 billion people? Come on. If you're doing business, global business now, one way or another, you're eventually going to have to deal with Indian businessmen, okay? So you're going to need to be taking English lessons with people from India speaking English, and people in India speak English really fast. I thought it was so fast. It was faster than American English. I don't know how they keep that speed up, but my Indian friends can speak at warp speed, and sometimes I gotta drink a couple cups of coffee to catch up with them. So, yeah, you can teach English being Indian. You just have to find somebody to hire you. GABA, GABA was an Eikaiwa, an English school that had hired my friend. So he got in through that. Hey John, is it hard to stick to a diet in Japan? Yes. Like say keep for instance. Like say kept for instance. It's not. It's what I'm on. It's very hard to stay on a diet in Japan, and it's not. There's 2 ways to look at it. One, there's just too much amazing food to say no to. The good side is that the portions are so much smaller, and it's so much easier to stay away from sugar here. They don't put sugar in everything. If you go to a vending machine and you go for a bottle of tea, they don't put sugar in it, which is great. So you can get non-sugar drinks all in vending machines. You can get non-sugar food just about everywhere, and I think that's really good. So you can lose a lot of weight, but my Western friends will gain weight because they always eat at convenience stores. I never eat at convenience stores unless I'm doing a midnight run or something with you guys, like a food run. Convenience store food is chemical and it's very bad for you. But like the bentos are awful. They look good. Every YouTuber goes to 7-Eleven and does like a 7-Eleven eating thing. The food is so bad for you. It's got tons of chemicals in it, and it's loaded with. I hear it from my wife. That's why. So you have to be careful with that. But my foreign friends gain weight, and some of them will lose weight after a while because they start eating like Japanese. I used to eat Western food when I first came to Japan. Pasta, spaghetti, because I didn't know how to cook Japanese food. Once I learned how to wash the rice and use a rice cooker, I was able to maintain my weight pretty good, and eat a lot healthier. Yeah. Although I still eat lots of cookies and cake and sugar. It's hard not to do that. Yeah, the 7-Eleven sandwiches and burritos and stuff like that they have here, but it's not good to eat that. John, you look tired. It's because it's 1:20 in the morning. Hold on a second. It's 1:20 in the morning, so that's why. It's 1:20 in the morning. I might have accidentally stopped some. John, go to sleep. I'm going to bed in 1 minute. I just want to make sure I have everything. Can't have carbs or sugar. Yeah. That's hard if you have a special diet like that. Japan has a lot of carbs, a lot of rice. Do you know any foreigners working non-teaching jobs? Eski asks. The key to getting a job is that you have to find a company to hire you. And if you know a company outside of Japan that has offices here, you can work with them to get hired in Germany, for example. Fuso is a company that makes trucks, I believe. Fuso works with Mitsubishi, I believe. I'm not sure. I had German friends who were working with Fuso. They were college students that got in with Fuso, and Fuso brought them to Japan to work at, I guess, in a collaboration with the trucks there at Mitsubishi or something. And yeah, that's how they got in. I have lots of friends that work in the banking industry. I have lots of friends that are doing all sorts of different jobs. If you get married here, then you don't have to worry about what industry you're working in. You can just work in anything. If you get permanent residency here, you can work any job that you want, but you should stay within the confines of your visa. Meaning, if you come here as a specialist in the humanities, you should only work on international services, meaning you can do a job that Japanese people can't do. Hi John, love your channel. Love from France. Hey, bonjour. Or should I say bonsoir? It's 1:22 in the morning here. John, it's only 3:24 for me. Yeah, lucky you, Paradox. I gotta go to bed soon. Alright, one more question. Neat tips to start to learn Japanese. Any suggestion? Ches14. Oh, and don't send me any more gifts right now. I got so many bags of food and stuff. Kanai's like, she doesn't know what to do with all of it. And so I'm kind of like, and I got in trouble for sending stuff to my friend's office, so just give us like a month or something to reset everything. But when I give the address out, the response was just like overwhelming, and this is just from our Patreon supporters. So we'll give out an address to send stuff that we'll unbox on the show probably next month. So just give us a little bit of time on that. Ches14 asks an awesome question. Okay. How do you start to learn Japanese? And what are some of the words that you should, what are some of the words, maybe in phrases that you need to know before you come here? Thank you, Nathan Simpson. The first thing you need to do to learn Japanese is, Duolingo is actually a really good app. Thank you, Nosh. Duolingo is a really good app. But I'm going to tell you right now what I did, okay, guys? Alright, I'm going to tell this because anyone who's watching this after 1 hour, you guys are pretty special, and just sticking in for this long. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I was going to actually make a separate episode on this, but I don't think anyone's going to be watching this beyond the 455 people that are watching right now to the end. Alright, the first thing that I did is I made, and it took me 3 years before I started to really study Japanese, so I wasted 3 years because everyone was speaking English to me, and I was so strong-headed, I didn't see the value in learning Japanese. I'm glad I did. I made flashcards, just like index cards. You can actually get this from Daiso, the 100 yen shop, like smaller versions, because Japanese students do the same thing. Get the index cards and study katakana first, okay? Katakana is the alphabet, the Japanese alphabet, and after about 12 hours, you will know the katakana alphabet, and you'll be able to start to read menus and read signs. And this is about building confidence. Once you can see that you can apply what you learned in Japanese to everyday life, like in 12 hours, then you start to build up confidence and learning becomes a lot easier, especially if you're not like 2 years old and languages don't come to you. Start off with something that you can do, something that you can build from. And katakana is the alphabet, it's the phonetical alphabet that Japanese use for foreign words like pizza, coffee, hotel, hoteru, kohi, pizza. Once you learn this, then you can start to see the characters and you're like, and things start to make sense a little bit. The second reason why you want to learn the katakana alphabet is because you learn the sounds. All right. Japanese have only 5 vowels. There's no long A or short A. It's so simple. A, I, U, E, O. A, E, I, O, U. A, I, U, E, O. Let me show you what it looks like. Katakana. Alright, this is the katakana alphabet. It should be in the A, I, U, E, O alphabet. Okay, here it is. Here's a good one. Oh, this one goes. Alright, this one seems to be. I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see this. Alright, you guys see this here? Alright. A, I, U, E, O. Once you learn A, I, U, E, O, it doesn't change, okay? Nothing in Japanese changes the sound wise. The consonants are easy. Once you learn A, I, U, E, O, there's no long I or short I. There's E. This is E. That's it. U. That's it. E. O. Once you learn this, that's the basis of Japanese. So once you learn katakana, you can learn how all of the words are pronounced. There's some combinations, but a, u, e, o, kakiku ke ko, sashi su se so, tachi tsu te to, nani nu ne no, hahi fu he ho, mami mume mo, ya yu yo. Rariru. R doesn't make a sound, but like a D and R together. So rariru. Wa o. This is a neat one. Then there's some combinations like kya, kyu, kyo, sha, shu, sho. This is because it's a small one. But once you pick this up, you can start to read menus, and it becomes so easy. And then once you start to read menus, that's when you start to build up confidence and Japanese becomes fun. When I started reading kohi and pizza and I can order off of a menu, that's when I built up momentum. And then the next thing was to learn hiragana, the second alphabet, and then to learn Japanese kanji. Then you can start to learn verbs and how to conjugate verbs, and then it becomes really easy. Then you start to pick it up fast in conversation because Japanese is all around you. But that's how I started. I started by making flashcards with katakana. That was step 1. If you can get past step 1, then let's talk about step 2, okay? First, do step 1. And how many black shirts do you have? About 20 of them. When people started making fun of the sweat marks, I started buying black t-shirts so I don't get the sweat marks anymore. Let's see here. Ganbare. Yeah, Kiki Miyazaki, right? Ganbare. Yeah, do your best. Be strong. Fight. Ganbare. Yeah. Are you gonna make any content on samurai or Japanese martial arts? I have some. I mean, people are asking me about it. And I wanted to keep this mostly on traveling to Japan, not so much on me. I made an episode on Japanese martial arts in November. I made a couple of them. This one is called Japanese Martial Arts. It's a spy story. It's about naginata, and naginata is a traditional martial art that they've been doing for 1,000 years, and it's the basis of swordsmanship in many ways. So they also follow the rules of Budo, which is the way of the samurai. So yeah, that was a good episode, but nobody really saw it. I don't know why. YouTube didn't recommend it to people, which was sad. I also made one on a sport called Spochan. This was over 2 years ago. This is the least dangerous martial arts in Japan. It's called now. I changed the title. Least dangerous martial arts in Japan. They use air swords, and they fight pretty much the same way that they fight with swords, but they use air, and it's child friendly, and it's called Spochan. Spochan. Spochan's a pretty fun sport to try out, and if you do come to Japan, you might want to buy some of the air swords, which are pretty cool. It's an actual sport here. I wish they were more aggressive promoting this abroad, but in Japan, Spochan is a pretty cool sport. Let's see here. Where are you from originally? I don't want to answer questions about me. This is supposed to be about traveling to Japan. Everybody knows what my background is. I think some people are going to answer it for you. John made a katana. Yeah, a katakana episode. Maybe. That's what... I just answered it. I don't know what I can do. I might do a survival Japanese episode. You know, because people have been asking me for it. I think it's a good idea. I know you did sunrise train, but can you give tips for night buses? That's a really good topic. A lot of people have been asking me about that. I think the sunrise Izumo, the train one, was good because most people travel in Japan by train. They don't travel by bus. But for students and people who live in Japan, bus is pretty... It's kind of like the way to go for long hauls. Although airlines and flights are so cheap now, I don't know why buses... It's hard to justify a long bus trip. It's hard to justify a long bus trip when a flight costs $50. I'm going to be doing driving episodes. You're going to see that this fall. A lot of driving episodes, okay? So I just wanted to get through the summer. When we'll see Jennifer, I really don't know. It's up to her, okay? Jennifer has her own channel. I have mine. Peter has his own channel. I don't... you know, and everybody has their own schedule. I once again, like, it's just up to the other person and the schedules. They just don't work out. I guess last question. Any recommendations for tea houses? Not really. The new Chisose airport in bad shape. It looked like they're still recovering. Is it easy to rent bicycles to ride around Tokyo? Reina Archard. All right, let's work off of that one. You know, bicycles... They just started one, and it's sponsored by Docomo. If you look at Tokyo Bicycle Share, Docomo is like the Verizon. It's like the cell phone company of Japan, the big one. NTT from AT&T, right? It's a big one. You can get these rental bicycles that have electrical batteries on them. You can buy one-day passes, or you can buy monthly passes, or one-trip passes, and pay with your Suica card, your IC card, which is digital money. But it was always sort of hard for me to figure out how to do it. Now this program that Docomo is doing is growing really fast. It's all over the center of Tokyo, but it's also in Sendai, Hiroshima, Okinawa. It's in Gifu. It's in Kobe. So it's really starting to take off. So I think that this one's going to be successful. With that in mind, I'm going to be doing an episode on how this bike system works probably in the next 2 weeks, okay? I'll do a live stream on trying to rent one of the Tokyo bicycles. I think it's going to be pretty cool. The system works like there's a panel on the back of the bicycle that I think you can touch your card, put in a pin, make a reservation using the smartphone. It seems a little complicated to me, so I'm going to try to boil it down. Some other YouTubers have tried to make videos on it, but I'll try to boil it down so it's easier. This is a map. See all the colors on the map here? This is a map of all the places that you can rent the bicycles. It just covers the entire city. In the middle, on this green area, is the Imperial Palace. That's the center of the city. All around it are bicycle rental places. Just places where you can rent the bike here, and you can ride it to the other side of the city, and you can leave the bike here. It's pretty cool, right? Rent it in one place and leave it somewhere else. If you want to see the city of Tokyo, you're not going to want to take the subway. You're underground. Ride a bike. So yeah, I encourage people to check out this. Just Google Tokyo Bike Share, Tokyo Bicycle Share. One complaint for people on Instagram sending me messages: don't ask me a question that I have to Google to answer you. And I'm sure that they don't mean that. It's just kind of irritating, a little slightly irritating. Like, because I want to answer people, but I don't want to be a smart aleck about it. Um, One person asked me today, how much are flights from Tokyo to Korea? Like, how am I supposed to know that? A couple $100? I don't know. All you gotta do is go to Google, type in Tokyo, Seoul, flight, and it comes up with the answer. So, like, I have to go and do the work. If I have to do the work to answer the question, like, I'm just gonna ignore the question. So, if you're gonna ask me the question, and that's just a small gripe. If you're gonna ask me a question that I don't have to Google, like something that requires someone who's been living there for 20 years. The price of a flight, you can find that out, yourself. You don't need me. How many teeth does a beaver have? Hold on a second. Two. Wait. More importantly, why are beavers' teeth's bright orange? Do you know that one? Huh? You can ask me a question, and I return your question with, why are beavers' teeth bright orange? And to answer your question, I'm guessing two, but some of them have four. Um, they have a, yeah. Doesn't quite say. It's hard to. This is a hard one to Google. Sometimes it's not as easy, is it? Why is John a human? Why is Okapi over there and not here today, taking a break with his Canadian Mountie friend? With his Canadian Mountie friend. Yeah. And by the way, I really like that painting. It was a present from Singapore, so thank you so much. I have a ton of snacks from Singapore that I haven't even started to eat. So I'm gonna have to get on that this week. We're gonna do. I got from Vaughn, who is a supporter. Hold on a second. All right, Vaughn. I really don't know what to do with all these Tim Tams. All right, Peter's not gonna. I'm not doing a live stream with Peter to eat these. Okay, that's off the books. Cause Peter, it's like two guys eating Australian cookies. Doesn't make any sense for only in Japan. So I'm gonna eat this with Kanai, and I think I'm going to. I'll do this Tim Tam Slam, which looks kind of cool. But I think I'm also gonna compare this to the Japanese Tim Tam. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right there. Japan has their own kind of Tim. That's a lot. HC Squeezer. Japan has their own kind of like Tim Tam competitor. So I'm gonna compare the two. So that's good. That should be pretty interesting. So I know Vaughn's gonna watch this. So Vaughn, thank you so much for sending these. I want to make something interesting out of it with Kanai. So we're gonna do some fun with this maybe this week. So check out a live stream on that. Yeah, Tim Tams are pretty good. I don't think we got these in the U.S. Do we? Tim Tams. It's reversed, but they're from Australia. They're really good. I hear from Portugal. All right, guys, this is the end of the live stream. So, if you want to write in the oh, okay, hold on a second. The Chuaman 2. Hi, John. My sister and I are traveling to Tokyo in a month. What's the most interesting location to wander in Tokyo and just get lost? Whoa, whoa, that's a good question. Oh man, where is the best place to wander and get lost? Um, wow. Okay, I think that there's a couple of. I did a walk from Shinjuku to Shibuya. All right, this encompasses this has to do in this walk. You can do it in about 30 minutes if you go fast. You can do it in an hour if you go normal, and if you take your time, it'll take 2 hours. You can walk from Shinjuku Station or Kabukicho, and you just walk slowly along the train tracks. You can go through Meiji Shrine. You can also take a side trip and do Harajuku and Omotesando, and then you can keep walking past some of the Olympic areas from 1964 to Shibuya. And you can see Shibuya Station and all the lights, and that's a pretty cool 2 hour walk, and you can just get lost in there. Just find side streets like all over the place. Towns in Tokyo, I would say, wow. Wander around and get lost in. I love the side streets around Jimbocho. Jimbocho is near Tokyo Dome. It's It's an old area known for being the publishing area, like lots of books. This is where I think Meiji University is there. Some of the side streets and back alleys have some of the best coffee shops that nobody knows about. And I shouldn't be telling you this because I don't want anybody to know about it. Those back streets are pretty cool. The city of Tokyo, just everything in the center of the city is just Arakicho. I did 3 or 4 live streams on this in March. Arakicho is amazing for wandering around too, and it's right near Shinjuku. I'm so glad you brought that up. I made, I think, 3 or 4 live streams on Only in Japan Go in March with gosh, I forget the name of the company, but if you go and take a look at it, they brought me out to look at their ryokan. They have a ryokan there. Arakicho's got so many old family-run businesses and it's just winding streets, and you turn the corner and you find some neat stuff. I would recommend like some of the side streets around Shinjuku. You can get lost in Shinjuku, and there's streets I haven't walked around there, and I walk around Shinjuku all the time. Shimbashi as well. Yeah, that's great. Shimbashi is someplace that I love to wander around the streets. You can go from Hibiya Park. You can walk around Shimbashi. You can actually walk from Shimbashi to Roppongi, and then walk from Roppongi through Aoyama to Shibuya Station, which is a pretty cool walk. There's so many amazing walks. I've been doing these walking and rambling tours, so I might try to do some more of those. Cause it's something that I can do and show you. Because when you walk, you see so many cool things like vending machines or stores that pop up, and things on the street, parks and unusual people. That's when stuff happens when you just walk around. But you have to have when you do a live stream kind of a goal. You have to have a goal or a topic. Walking around is not a topic, but if you have a goal or some kind of strategy for the live stream, then it can be something that's useful. Because when I make these live streams for you guys, I want it to be something that's useful after the live stream. Not just a question and answer, but things in this that I'm doing with you right now that's going to be useful for other people to watch on a playback. And if people can watch it again and learn something from it, then it has a value. If it's just me walking around and trying to be, like a funny guy, like, yeah, I think you can have a lot of fun, but at the same time you can learn a lot of stuff. And that's when I don't waste your time and it has value. And that's the purpose of the Only in Japan Go channel. This channel is not like me to be entertaining you in just an entertaining way, but also that you can learn something and maybe we have some fun. Yeah, I'll go to bed. I usually stay up till about 2 a.m. anyways. Yeah, and if it's useful, then I think it's a good video. Any advice to have? Any advice to have a goal? I think I made a TEDx talk on having silly goals. It doesn't matter what your goal is. Just always try to have a goal. My goal right now is to get some rest. And Nita knows. Yeah, thanks. Tuotaku, thank you. Yeah, Alright guys, have a good day, good night. Once again, I love these things, and I'm not going to eat it now because it's chocolate, but happy Halloween to everybody. Halloween candy's out right now all over the place. Happy Halloween to everybody. If you do want to support the channel, Patreon is the place to do it right now. Patreon.com/onlyinjapan. And right there, I'm giving up postcard cards. I still got 20 postcards. This is all that's left. And I guess if you sign up this month, I will send you this postcard. And if you sign up after I'm done with all of them, then you're gonna get, I don't know, another one. I have about 1,000 of them down there. Alright guys, have a good day, have a good night wherever you are in the world. I appreciate all the support and some really great questions today. If you have also an idea for a live stream, just write it down below and I will take a look at it in the comments below. I do read the comments the day after the video, and that will give me some ideas of what you want to do. Like the video, and yeah, subscribe. Thanks everybody. Have a good night.